right, Lisa, thank you so much. And we are following breaking news in Minnesota, where the manhunt is now underway for the person who shot and killed a lawmaker and her husband. A second lawmaker and his wife were also shot. The two separate shootings are said to be targeted political violence. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says that former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband were killed.
This is Scott's Media. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about truth, politics, and the stories the mainstream media too often ignores. On June 14th, 2025, Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were assassinated in their home. Their family dog was also killed. Investigators say the shooter was impersonating a police officer, and when they searched his vehicle, they discovered something chilling: a hit list with dozens of names of Democratic officials and abortion rights advocates.
His home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly. Belter fled the scene, and the Hoffman's daughter called 911. Unfortunately, the Hoffmans survived, although they remain hospitalized. After shooting Senator Hoffman and his wife, Belter traveled to the home of another Minnesota state representative in Maple Grove, Minnesota. Video surveillance showed that Belter rang the doorbell at the state representative's house at approximately 2:24 a.m. on Friday night. Again, he was dressed as a law enforcement officer, wearing a tactical vest and body armor, carrying a handgun and a flashlight, and wearing that same hyper-realistic silicone mask.
The suspect, Vance Luther Bolter, didn't just target Melissa Hortman. Prosecutors say he also shot State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. They survived, but Bolter wasn't done. He had notes, surveillance logs, and a long list of names. That list included Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar, U.S. Senator Tina Smith, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and multiple abortion providers. This wasn't random. It was politically motivated. An assassination campaign aimed at Democrats and pro-choice advocates. Melissa Hortman wasn't just another lawmaker. She had served in the Minnesota House since 2004 and rose to become Speaker. She pushed for renewable energy standards, defended reproductive rights, and worked on bipartisan reforms. Her husband, Mark, wasn't in politics, but friends described him as her rock. So he supported her, stood by her side, and kept her grounded. Together they raised two children. Their lives ended in an instant because of political extremism. And here's something I need to say honestly. I never even knew who Melissa Hortman was until I saw the news of her assassination. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. I didn't know much about him or what he was about until I saw the headlines after his assassination. But here's the difference. Charlie Kirk's death was covered everywhere, non-stop, wall-to-wall media, politicians weighing in, massive national debate. Melissa and Mark Hortman, their assassination barely made it past local coverage. That silence says a lot.
I'm not familiar with the I'm not familiar with the I'm not familiar with the
Minnesota House Speaker, a Democrat, who was assassinated this summer.
Well, if the governor had asked me to do that, I would have done that. But the governor of Minnesota didn't ask me. I didn't. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I would have if somebody had asked me. People make requests for the lowering of flag, and oftentimes you have to say no because it would be a lot of lowering. The flag would never be up. Had the governor of Minnesota asked me to do that, I would have done that gladly. To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Former President Trump was quick to blame Charlie Kirk's assassination on the so-called radical left. He told crowds that left-wing extremists are the only threat. But what about the radical right? This wasn't just some random act. Melissa Hortman was a Democrat. Her husband was collateral damage. The shooter's hit list included top Democratic officials. And yet, there's no primetime coverage, no national rallies, no politicians demanding answers. If Charlie Kirk's death matters, then so should Melissa Hortman's. Political violence doesn't care about party lines, and ignoring it when it comes from the right is pure hypocrisy. Melissa and Mark Hortman's assassination shows us just how fragile democracy can be. They were killed in their own home, targeted for political beliefs. Their names deserve to be remembered. And the hit list tells us this wasn't just about one couple. It was about silencing voices, intimidating leaders, and pushing fear into politics. If we ignore this, we send a message that only certain victims matter, and that's dangerous. Ladies and gentlemen, let me close with this. Political violence will always backfire. It doesn't matter who does it. It doesn't matter which party it comes from. Left or right, the result is the same, and somebody's death should never be celebrated. Never. I've seen the reports. People fired from their jobs, people losing careers because they thought it was funny, because they thought it was right to celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. And I'll tell you this, that is wrong. Nobody should celebrate anybody's death. Not Melissa and Mark Hortman, not Charlie Kirk, not anyone. Let's not forget, Charlie Kirk leaves behind a wife, now a widow, and children who will grow up without their father. And Melissa and Mark Hortman's children, yes, they're grown, but the pain doesn't go away. That is a hole in their hearts that will never be filled. This is bigger than politics. This is about the First Amendment. This is about the right to speak, the right to think, the right to disagree, and that right belongs to all of us, left and right alike. If you don't like what someone says, fine, that is your right. But celebrating their death, that is not an answer, that's a sickness. And today is a sad day for both sides of this country, because when we celebrate death, we all lose. So remember this, no matter what we believe, no matter where we stand, we all deserve to be treated equally. And everybody has the right to their voice. Thanks for watching Scott's Media, where truth meets creativity. Check out these videos to keep the story going. And yep, that's the official merch right on your screen and in the description below. Want to support the channel directly? My Cash App and Venmo are below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss what's next. Rock the message, support the mission. I'll catch you in the next one.